Oh, that is a bit unexpected. That was a bit unexpected. Welcome back, everyone, for the next part of Limbus Company. How should I say it? I was kind of hoping for Ishmael's dungeon to last one more part so that we could cover an entire week with it. But no. No, it didn't. It didn't, and now, technically speaking, I'm still in the middle of the preparations in order to set up our next party. I pretty much have all the XP coupons that were necessary to level them up to 40. But our current golden and blue training coupons are relatively low, as you can see. We were cutting it relatively closely. This is going to cause some issues for me in the future, I can already say. Every time when I change my party, every time if I bring somebody new, it's going to cost more and more around here. Maybe I should invest more of our watches into luxuration. I mean, I already had to spend a lot. That number could have reached 1,000 at this point, but I had to spend 50 on XP coupons. I even bought out the shop for the XP coupons. I needed the XP coupons, and I still need to do my mirror dungeon. The event is ending in a couple of days. Yes, a couple of days. I still have to get the banner. I'm not entirely sure about the brown boxes, but I still need to get the banner at the very least. So there's still a lot for us to do for this week. Which is probably also another reason why I was really hoping for Ishmael to cover one more part. But alas, right? Alas. At the very least, she was kind enough for us to unlock a very, very special little thing over here. I'm just not entirely sure if we should tackle it right away or if I should save it for last. Right? I could save it for a little bit more. Who knows? We might get into the range of Railway 4 and then we could actually have another shot at the Railway Week. Maybe. If we're lucky. Huh? Would be great, right? Would be absolutely great. But first and foremost, let's not get distracted. I need to do something really quickly for our team. First and foremost, let me show to you guys our new setup. Can you see what I'm trying to go for with this team? Yes, it's a bleed charge combo with power on the side, because after the whale thingy, I learned the hard way how precious parallels this is going to be, right? We all love para hex. In all cases. And a little bit of blade for extra damage, because let's be serious, the last event was all about blade lineage, with Kurokuma on the side. So now I'm going to come around and put the Kurokuma to the top first, because I'm pretty sure they were overshadowed by all the blade lineage buffs that the other team was able to receive, right? They were released together, but sadly, our poor little Krieger and his Kurokuma clan, well, they were kind of pushed to the sideline. But that's alright. That's alright, Gregor. After all, as you can see from right here, the game took notice of them. The game took notice of them, and they have released the bright outfit of Gregor himself. Now, I wasn't really sure if I should try to go for it, seeing how I'm never lucky when I try to go for egos. Let's be serious, I'm never lucky with that. And when I was trying to go for a certain Ryoshu and Rodeo Nadia, I wasn't really that lucky either. I actually attempted 3 times in a row. I got some very interesting results involving a yellow tree and a teddy bear, which also gave me the idea of getting a certain wolf for our little Faust, since we need a charge ID, right? The charge bleed ID with para and bind. It's really fitting. You just have to believe in the process, right? I could have probably saved it for today's part, now that I think about it, but I was really expecting her to fill the entire week. Oh well, right? Oh well. At the very least, now we have another chance to get a pull for the part, an official pull for the part. Who knows? Maybe Maybe I'm just going to pull twice. One for Gregor in order to see if I can get the pride, and one more for Rodion in order to see if we can actually get her 3-star ID. After all, we have 90k of lunacy. We can spend a little. I even have the chance to do the mirror dungeon after the recording as well, which is going to increase our numbers by a little bit, so it isn't really going to harm us that much. It's a shame that I already used up all of my tickets, but that's fine. Yeah, you know what? Before we start the whole part today, let's do a couple of polls. Of course, Rodion first. After all, we already have 3 polls in there. Let's add one more. Come on, Rodion. Give me luck. Be the luckiest girl in the world! With 3 reds? That's not very lucky, never mind. Maybe she could bless us. Oh, we got the SCP, Rodion. That's good. Maybe she's going to bless our run with Gregor. I'm going to give you 1 chance, Gregor. 1 chance. Come on. Doesn't really look that good. It doesn't look that good at all. Yeah, I'm not lucky with eagles. Let's be serious. I'm never lucky with the eagles. Kind of expected that result. But hey, for that case, we have golden boxes, right? We have the golden boxes. How many do I need for him? 200 more. Okay. Are you guys sure that he isn't going to disappear after season 3? Because he's not really in the standard ego list like Dawn's wishing thing. He's in 3 instead. Almost like those special ones from the past and the events from season 1, and I can't really see it season 2, but season 1 also has a couple of egos that you can only get from this page. Oh well, I mean, it's not like I have to worry about it. After all, we're going to get the pride right away. Right? Ah, it looks disgusting. Gregor! Yes, show us the dress. Let's try to avoid looking up there. Right? Let's try to ignore the background. Okay. This is actually really helpful because, actually speaking, for this team, Gregor is actually the main character. After all, I haven't really been using Gregor for most of the teams that we had throughout pretty much all chapters. Let me double check on that. I think we used them during the run. Yeah, during the tutorial we had a chance to use Gregor, and I think I used them a little bit more in the dungeon itself. But after that, we just never ended up using Gregor at all. Which is a shame, because every sinner had at least 1 chance to shine so far. Except of Gregor, so I'm really happy to see that I really like his Kurokuma outfit that much that he's going to get an entire team dedicated to his group and a little bit of support, right? A little bit of support. That's all that he needs. Now, before we head over to the chapter, you all know what we have to do next, right? Uptie 3 stories! And of course, since Gregor's the main character in this team, let's start with him first. The Shadow Cloud Shattering Cleave. More bleed and offensive leveled out. Okay, let's see. Whoa, my mind's clearer than ever, man! And with this delicious sick, I'd say I said something that I wasn't able to read. God, sometimes those texts disappear so quickly. But that's fine. Okay then, Gregor. Let's see what's going on with the Kurokumas. Honglu already had a relatively short story, so maybe this time around, seeing how your new ID, we might be able to see some more about that. A longer cutscene, at the very least. You know what's cool about alcohol? It makes people honest. It kills your liver, makes you sloppy. Lots of downsides, sure. But I gotta say, it got its uses. If you're part of a syndicate, I mean, if you survive long enough in the syndicate, that is, you'll be getting some underlings. 3, 4 underlings. Easily manageable. I can figure them out after chatting and working with them a few times. But once you start getting 10 or more underlings, it's get a bit hard to manage. They're supposed to be my eyes and ears, hands and feet, right? I don't want any bad apples in any of that. One bad apple could mess up pretty much everything, which means that I still got to remain hands-on, which is annoying as hell. And that, my friend, is when alcohol comes in useful. And if I act like I just down a whole ass barrel, they start to think, oh man, I got assigned to some brainless drunkard as a captain? Especially our new recruits, who never seen me sober. That is when they start to let some things slip. Things that let me know who they really are. Pretty useful, huh? This alcohol and all. Now, come on, pour me some liquor already. I don't know, Gregor, that almost sounds like an excuse for you to drink more. Just because they dropped their guard. I kind of thought you would give them the alcohol, but no. You're not sharing at all. Seriously, Captain? You should have saved that speech for when the recruits aren't around. They're all here, you know. They all listened. Wait, they are? It's been about 30 minutes since the child started the slurring rant. His face was flat against the table the entire time, of course. It was unclear whether that face registered or not that he continued to mumble at the poor subordinate who had the misfortune of sitting next to him. Listen up, boys and girls. Yes, sir. Just cause our captain is a bit sluggish doesn't mean that he's just some common drunkard. You got that? Answer. Yes, sir, of course not. Ah, come on, man. You're making me blush. Just shut up and pour, okay? The subordinate's effort to bring back a semblance of dignity to the gathering was immediately dashed by the child's casual demeanor. He wished that the child would act with some gravities for once, but that was probably a tall order for someone who holds these drinking parties pretty much every day. Well, he wasn't exactly worried for the child though. He knew that the captain was the man who get the job done regardless of his usual demeanor. After all, the drunken fist is always a thing. This man who knew when to get serious. The subordinate knew that very well. He's been at the child's side for a long enough time to know. He knew that the child had a bizarre power to get over any hangover or drunkenness with a single roar. Every time he was assigned to a job, he stumbled up, roared, and he would be sober. No hangover or anything. Alright, boys. Are we ready to teach those hobos who dare to encroach on our territory a lesson? Yes, sir! Everyone has been wedging their blades in preparation for that very day, sir. Those blade-lineage bastards. They've been a thorn on our side. Not just to the Patridge, but to you as well. Yeah, the Patridge. Well, that's none of my business, but... all I want to do is test my metals. See what they're made of, you know. We chilled down the liquor with a single gulp, and that's out a satisfied sight. The backstreet swordman rarely ever really swings their sword for the love of it. Eh? I bet you're the same. You learned how to swing that thing around, just so you could strut about, puff chest and all, eh? Scaring some people and making some cash. That's not it. That's not it. Come on. The Kurokuma's clan got a severe lack of boys and girls who are serious about the way of the blade. Did you know that our predecessors in the Kurokuma clan used to train in real martial art styles? Many of them, in fact. Just look at us now. The child scratched his hair, obviously a nod. Who knows, maybe everyone who was serious about the blade just got tired of working with the thumb, huh? Maybe that's why they all left the clan, to make their own dojo and stuff. Am I wrong? Captain, you can't talk about the farm like that! If they knew, what if... I know. And that's exactly why the Kurokuma clan is in the shitter right now. Making pocket money here and there, doing whatever they are told to do, fighting whoever they tell us to fight. I joined up with this gang way too late for all the fun, right? But the Kurokuma clan ain't a dojo. They've got a cynical and fixer office for that kind of... Oh, are you telling me that I should just leave everything that I've built up in the clan just to be a rookie again at some other place? Man, seriously? But no, I just have high expectations for the upcoming battle. They're special. I just know it. That's exactly why I'm in a good mood. The child was speaking from his heart. He has always loved to wield his blade, and that is what led him into joining the Cynical. But he was disappointed to learn that not many members of the Kurokuma clan shared his passion. Still, his passion for the blade was what brought him to a relatively high position of the captain within the clan. He soon became one of the Kurokuma clan's best men for the upcoming strife. And that is why so many of his men showed him proper respect, even though he's drunk 24/7. The subordinate laughed a little to himself. Tonight he will try to restore the captain's great dignity among his men back to full. The captain didn't deserve such derision. He really was an impressive swordman. Hey, where's my drink? Yes, sir, coming right up. Along with restoring his liquor cup to full. Thus came the day of the strife. Oh, Rodion! Ryoshu! Random guys! He looks so cool! He looks so freaking cool! I mean, come on, just look at this guy! Just look at this guy! Who wouldn't dedicate an entire chapter to him, huh? Wouldn't? The Kurokuma clan, the Blade Village. It was a face-off. The tension between two Cynicals was palpable. That alleyway would soon be littered with blood and flesh of many mans. Watch out for that one in the bamboo hat, boys and girls. It was as though the child had transformed from a common drunkard to a captain overnight. With a commanding voice, he points at that man on the other side of the standoff. Huh? Oh, that weird-headed guy over there? Oh ho, his sword must have seen blood, and his eyes of the Blade Fiend. The henchman began murmuring, fearful at the captain's warning. But that's exactly what the child wanted. Now that his men will try to steer clear of that one, it's all his. He'll get that headman all to himself, I knew it. Blade Fiend or Blunder Fiend, I don't care. Let's split the clouds! The child shouted from the top of his lung and unsheathed his blades. And that is how the strife began. But we won't be able to have a chance to see it, because they had to cut it there. I would have loved to see that fight. But then again, we know how powerful the Blade lineage is, so I can kind of assume who's going to win. But still, he's so ready for this. I would have loved to see that fight. I would have loved to see it. Okay, next up I would say it's Ryoshi's turn. So let's see what she got. Rodion is in everyone's background. It's a shame that I didn't get her. It's an actual shame that I didn't have her. I think she's literally the only Kurokuma girl that I'm missing. There are only 4 of them right now, right? Oh well. Let's see the story. Ah, look at that! Herman is back in order to grab up. Okay. The child gave her sole audience a confident glance and puffed out a cloud of cigarette smoke. We start with the cool picture right away, I see. So, Hosa, isn't this a work of art? The broom pressing through her blade, smoke being cleanly cut in twain. I must admit, I really do have a way with a sword. Although I suppose your insolence towards an advisor is only thanks to your usefulness. You would have lost fingers, and much more otherwise. Do tell me when that time comes. I've got a couple of great ideas how to cut them. The 8 gave a bitter smile. Perhaps it's not the generosity of this child, but the audacity of his subordinate, who can feel blades like it's second nature that keeps the Hosa from cracking the whip. I have good news for you, Ryoshu-kun. A strife is in sight. Oh, that's good news indeed. The child's eye narrowed, her mouth bent into a grin, and her fingers twitched. What? So short! I'm telling you! I'm telling you! Some ideas are so unfair! That's a 3-star one, why is it so it's so short! It's so short! It's almost unfair! It's almost unfair! But hey, at the very least it gives us a chance to see one more scene, right? Normally I only do 2 of them of the uptying stories because the stories usually drag on for a while, but if this one is so short, then I guess I can do 1 more. Now the question is, which of them? How about Faust, huh? Faust and the teddy bear. Yeah, she could certainly need it. Okay then, let's see what's happening at the warp train, shall we? Good grasp of this place. Did she just rush right through the center of the train? Interesting. What's that? 22, 32, 40. Warp of dimensional travel. 23, 02, 11. Hour 23, minute 2. Faust speaking. Continue from block number 16. Ah, so that's the current time. I get you, Faust. 23, 2, 15. In reality, Recop Singularity lies on a higher complex web of interest. 23, 2, 33. Its service is simply throwing passengers' train into a dimension with a set destination, using a singularity bargained out from a firm that just couldn't become a whale. 23, 2, 59. I have been unable to figure out the real singularity, but based on the information interfering from rumors and testimonies. 23, 3, 13. Sound of brushing hair. I believe it's something that can be compared to the undo function in the digital program. 23, 3, 21. They likely possess a technology that can restore things to a previous safe state, like a game. 23, 3, 30. Well, it may produce acceptable results as the passenger perceiving it as a short trip. 23, 3, 48. I, Faust, believe that the cleanup process that our crew has to carry out is irrational. 23, 4, 2. However, I do take an interest in the fact that irreversible action manifests as reversible after passing through the numbers of singularities. 23, 4, 33. I'm about to end the log here. 23, 4, 41. As I always said, this analysis is not for the public good. 23, 4, 58. I, Faust. 23, 5. Have one wish, to know all of the city. 24, 5, 08. Hour 23, minute 5. Faust speaking. End of log. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why we always had to repeat the numbers there, but it's another really short clip. Why are they so short? They didn't even show that picture. That picture is really cool, Faust. You're dashing through the blood. How did it happen to be this way? Huh. That's cool. Can I fit one more? Technically speaking, we need 2 more. You know what? I'm gonna see how long this one is. Maybe we're just going to uptie all of them. This is going to cost a lot of our threads, but might be worth it. It was as I expected. He dropped the coffee and pulled out the plate! Let's see what happens. There we go. Oh, Heatcliffs is with him as well. Your combat technique must be that of the Swai. Oh yeah, that's right. I've always struggled to best you in combat, so I tried turning up a bit this time around. While the idea on its own is commendable, would you remind me of the name of the weapon you're holding? Oh, this is a rapier. That is a sword whose blade is critically thin, with its vice weapon are thick and large. It's those characteristics that allows their members to defend and counter with ease. To imitate it with a slender weapon like this would doubtless be proven to be difficult. Oh. For instance, I myself have adopted the Shing technique. Huh? Really? Now that you mention it, I guess I can kinda see the similarities between our blades. The basics are all that you need to borrow. To copy a known method faithfully is to leave yourself open for its known countermeasures. The child continues as he slides his sword back into its sheath. Constant observation is key. An existing art cannot be made yours until it has been adopted beyond mere imitation or mirrored image. I suggest you study the fundamentals and observing once more. Thank you very much. And then he goes back to a break. Finished with his advice, the child stepped outside. That child, he's saying, was constantly respected by visitors and colleagues alike, and I'm sure you can see why. He may appear cold and uncaring, but he never shielded away from giving valuable advices where it was needed. The cafe is good. Of course, he didn't think much of it. Of course not. He just likes to help. That's his thing. And he tries to teach them a very valuable lesson about combat and imitation. And art itself. After all, first you need to learn the basic. And once you have the basic and the know-how, you are able to make that art your own. Change it a little to fit your fittings, so that you can master it even better than any of your predecessors. That is how different combat styles are developed and carried over to new generations who are going to improve it even further. That's the beauty of the sport, right? That's just how it is sometimes. That's just how it is. Okay. No, but seriously, once again, that one was relatively short. I should be able to include this one as well then. Which means, another 80. It's fine. I collected a lot of threads. It's gonna be fine. Right? Oh god. Oh god, he looks so brutal now. He looks so freaking brutal now. I see. Okay. It was hell. Although the area was large and the sky was above, the stench of blood and dust suffused my lungs to their brims, while heavy and frequent breathing puts me in a haze. A hellish place filled with the sounds of boots dragging across the ground, fists striking guts, sides, face, chest, wherever there was flesh. And countless me, I, and more of myself. They called this place the hatchery. Oh no! You're in the middle of the hatchery? Oh, this is just the worst. Everyone must survive the hatchery if they are to be deployed as Air Corps combatants. Within it are innumerable clones of myself, like vermin, chopping alive and crawling in a cage to spawn. We battle one another for survival. Maximize efficiency, acquaintance of combat experience, and selecting the most exceptional specimens. Thus, it matters not who the original was. I am whichever copy managed to survive. After that selection process, I was hatched. I underwent a special procedure so that my bioelectric signal would be operating a massive exoskeleton suit, for which I was fitted afterwards. Surviving the hatchery did not mean the end of the struggle, however. The colossal suit continued to drain my life's energy. A bioelectric induction procedure, simply referring to the process in which my energy was made to be transferable to the suit, which was something that my assigned team accepted rarely. It was unpleasant. My comrades and I suffered constant fatigue by our suit. We all used our personal funds to fill ourselves with caffeine, sugar, perhaps because we were all in agreement that having to take money out of our own wallet was better than return to the hell that was the hatchery. Were I not to meet our expected combat performance goal, I would be dragged back to the hatchery, and I would fight an endless battle against me and more of myself. It's the same reason why I remained loyal to this hardened wristblade, unlike my comrades who fought with bulkier weaponry, because this was what kept me alive and there. So that was the only weapon that you were allowed to use in the hatchery itself. Right, that would explain it. After all, let's be serious, there's no way they would allow all of you guys to wear all of that special armor in the hatchery, when all you need to do is just fight yourself, right? For the basic combat experience! But once again, the Air Corp guys, they're not making it easy for their guys, right? They just refuse to make it easy for any of them. Oh man. Okay, but with that, everyone is up-tiered. We used a lot of our time, but that should be fine after all. Let's be serious. The start of a new chapter, or at an interval, is always a bit on the short end, right? They don't really throw that many battles at us right from the start, so it should be fine. Besides, we have a little mini episodes, right? A notable change. Let's see what that's about. So, what is that? I see a map? Some kind of tablet? Is that a mini tresor or something like that? Oh my god, it's our room! It's actually our room! That's the first time we get to see the inside of our room! Oh! It's been a long while since I was able to relax like this, all alone in my room, with not a concern in my mind. Maybe it's because a heavy burden had been lifted from my heart. I told the sinners that we should take a day off or so in our respective rooms. After what happened, we deserve a good rest. A big part of that decision was also to relieve Yiseng of her seasickness, at least for one day. I don't think the sinners' rooms sway with the waves. We are still a ways away from getting out of the Great Lake. I thought it would be a good idea to have a day like this where we could just sit and relax. Of course, this wasn't like a real vacation or anything. If anything were to happen, this little time off would be just over like that. And just like that, you had to jinx us, Dante. We hear an ear-drumming, tearing siren from the Mephistolus. It always finds the worst time to go off. For example. Aww. Yeah. I had a feeling that something like that would happen. Yeah, true. I'm not even upset at this point. The siren better be worth getting my bumps from. There was nothing to do in our respective chambers anyways, Heatcliff. I imagine that the time spent alone in thy room must have been quite daring indeed. I can be a contemplative man from time to time, right? For true? Oi, clockhead! 1 clock turning coming right up. This will be the last one in a while, so just take one for the team, alright? Are you about to kill her? Wow. Aren't you going to ask Virtuous for permission too? Ah, bollocks! I think I'm starting to get a handle on how to manage Heatcliff. He always forgets about Virtuous when he's getting angry. Oh well. Good news, Heatcliff. The velocity alarm seems to be something we can make use of. Then, indeed, a notable change has occurred in one of the mirror dungeon doors. Dante, the short downtime you suggested. Yeah, I know. I knew something like that was going to happen anyways. I mean, let's be serious, we cannot take a break. I see then. Let us investigate the area where the velocity was detected. There was something odd about the way Faust and Virtuous were looking at me, but I was too busy to worry about the two of them. I had to somehow convince the sinners, who had their long-awaited proper break taken away from them as soon as it started, to get to work. Another locked door has opened. The keep out tape has also disappeared. The door looks a bit bluish this time, doesn't it? Where did the other door go? I don't think they were blue like that. True. And this one is still loading. I see. The door looks a little bit bluish this time. Looks like every mirror dungeon door will have a different design as well. And disappear from time to time, I guess. I can hear rolling waves from the other side. I think, according to the information relayed to us via the device, it appears that the official designation for the new area summoned by the backdoor velocity will be Mirror of Lake. Ishmael's eyebrow twitched. This is exactly what happened after we wrapped up these things' business too. It seems too convenient to call it a coincidence, doesn't it? It's like this area are tailorly made for each sinner, Faust. Mephisto's engine is designed to change and adapt every time a golden barrow is retrieved. And the backdoor is also a product of that engine. It would not be a reach to theorize that the incident with each sinner would affect the engine as well, which in turn influenced the content of the backdoor. In other words, it's pretty much a guarantee that with each golden barrow retrieval, we'll get another new zone from now on as well. Maybe. But at the same time they changed that a little bit. I'm pretty sure Rodion's dungeon didn't trigger a new mirror dungeon. And the same goes to Sinclair too, right? Maybe. Oh well. Quite likely, yes. Okay, yeah, thanks for the explanation. Maybe that's one of the ways of PM to tell us that from now on they're going to change that occasionally. After every season or something like that. Nice that they add a little mini episode for that, right? As a constant reminder that we can check out whenever we feel like it. Now then. Ishmael's willingness to sharpen and boldly question all things suspicious did not change at all. But wait, or maybe she just didn't like the fact that the word lake was even brought up in the first place. After the events at the Great Lake, maybe she was starting to take care not to be as blunt and scattering towards her fellow sinners. Not more than necessary anyways, at least. That's good. I'm relieved. Wait, that raises another question. Do ask. Aren't the golden barrows not immediately shipped to the headquarters by the after team as soon as we retrieve them? How can they affect the engine if they're not here? The answer to that question requires a rather lengthy explanation. I cannot. Go on. Wait, Otis, how about we try to wrap this up as quickly as we can? Dante, are you serious? That's a rare chance for her to actually explain something. Ah, never mind, his thing needs a break. Never mind, let's save it for later. Let's save it for later. You're saying, my boy? No. We better get to some place that not constantly sways. You're saying really it's not having a good time over here? I did not take my medicine, for I assumed that we would have a brief respite. I beg your forgiveness. I will hear the summary then. In summary, once the golden barrow is retrieved, and when Limbus Company headquarters goes through a certain tuning point, I mean, Mephisto's engine and the golden barrow's wavelength will overlap, causing a resonance effect, which is a process that involves resonating with the golden barrow in your head as well, manager, which means we are getting stronger, right? So that is how it works. Does that process not harm the executive manager? No, as you have witnessed it yourself. So once it is retrieved, the golden barrow continues to affect those it resonated with. I see. Guys, are we done with the boring lecture, please? EVTL. Enough with the lecture, okay? Faust, this dungeon, we have to enter it now, don't we? It felt like I was going back to my promise, after telling everyone that we could relax for once. I didn't like this one bit, but I think I already knew what Faust was going to say. Faust suggests that we explore the new zone as soon as we are able. The Mephistos are still in a significant distance from the shore, and there are not many activities to do before reaching our next destination. This will be an appropriated exercise for us during the empty period. Ugh. Executive Manager, I understand that you may feel uncomfortable going against your own earlier orders, but Considering the fact that this journey will continue on for quite some time, I believe that the resources and combat experience that we can gain from this new area would be quite considerable, and we do kinda need that. I nodded affirmatively. The sinners each began grumbling and airing their woes, but they still prepared to head into the dungeon once again. Thus we entered the newly formed door. Now technically speaking, for the sake of the lore, we should do a mirror dungeon run right now. But I did so many in the previous weeks. I think it would be fine if we save that for later once the part is over, right? I mean, I still need to do my free runs and all. Which means... Christmas! We're finally here, Christmas! It's been so long! It's been so long! We can finally celebrate Christmas! Around Eastern time! Eastern is around the corner! But oh well, right? It doesn't matter to the sinners! The Tendium, okay. Our wait in the Great Lake grows ever longer. One by one, the sinners began succumbing to the Tendium. Then Heatcliffs suddenly and actually crossed over to Virtuous. Are they having a talk? Okay then, Heathcliff. As our voyage on the Great Lake extended, the list of things to keep the sinners entertained growed ever smaller. In a way, it sounds like a serious problem, but... Guys, anybody got any funny stories to tell? Hello, for the 13th time. I suppose repeating the exact same phrase as many times is a talent, if it could even be called that. If you're having trouble recalling what you said moments ago, I can help you remind you. She has repeated the same phrase 28 times to be precise. At 30, I was planning to verify if she had suffered any damage to her occipital region. Wow, I get it, I'm just so bored, okay? Is there nothing for us to do anymore? I'm tired of playing the same game of backgammon again and again, you know? Good, I've got a job for you then. How about you start feeding the seagull one time for once? Somehow it became my responsibility after all of you got tired of taking care of it. Yeah, we're going to have to let the seagull go once we're getting out of the Great Lake anyways. So why did you guys let yourself get attached to it in the first place? Oh, just look at her. The way she looks at you. Those woeful eyes, and... They still kept the seagull? Huh. Wait, your average seagull eyes? It was abundantly clear that the sinners were starting to slowly expire from the sheer amount of boredom. Well, it's not really a problem that has a solution, and I had zero interesting stories to tell either, considering how I literally have no memories at all. All I could do was sit here and watch the sinners suffer. Putting them through the daily trials of the Mirror Dungeon wasn't the most exciting activity either. But there's nothing else to do for us around here. I mean, we could try to fish. That might be fun. But I don't think any of them brought a fishing rod. Oh. Wow. Speaking of which, Heathcliff appears to be the one least affected by this mess. Well, not that he was all calm and aloof, that is. I would say he's anxious. Virtuous? Huh? Huh? What is going on? What's up with the town? A frosty silence descended upon the sinners. And the source of that frost was the inexplicit event that played out before their eyes. What? Huh? Oh, Heathcliff, have you gone insane? Did you finally snap? This must be the side effect of the constellation. Maybe we can call this sense of self-preservation loss syndrome or something? Or something like that? Heathcliff? Shut your traps! I ain't mad, and my sense of self-preservation is just fine. Isn't he just talking to Virtuous? Impressive, Heathcliff. I rarely found myself surprised in the series of misadventures so far, but this one is for those rare occasions. Speak. What is your business? It's the, our next destination is T-Corp, ain't it? Do you really need me to answer that? We're going for Teacup? You know what I'm talking about. Patience, Heathcliff. Though that seems to be a virtue that most of you lack. If everything goes according to the flow, you will make it to your appointment on time. Appointment? Since I had no context of any of that, all I could do was sit there and watch as Heathcliff scratched the back of his head. I'm still out of the loop, but Heathcliff must be really anxious about something if he's willing to talk to Virtuous first. And after all that, that's not... what else could possibly be more important than the appointment? Wait. Heathcliff turned around to face us. Hey, any of you got any history with Teacup? Show your hands now. Teacup? I mean, Yaseng has history with Teacup, but the others? I have in a way. I resided in that place once. Right, but we already did you, didn't we? True. Then yeah. Soon it will be... But we're still in the middle of this damn lake, so... Oi, Clockhead! What's today's date? Huh? How should I know? Huh? Can't you tell the date? You're a clock for a head. You should know the time at all times. But clocks and calendars are completely different things. Heat, that was your 13th sight today. Keep doing that and you just might huff and puff our boat to pieces. Tell us, Heathcliff. Your turn's coming up, isn't it? Wait, Heathcliff's turn? Oh. And whatever it is that awaits us there, you're going to have to prepare yourself for it as well. Yeah, I suppose. There's no use hiding it anymore. After some time. Right, so to summarize, Heathcliff is starting to feel like his turn is coming up, now that Ishmael had her turn in the ringer, right? And he has got a good reason to believe that as well, because Virgils handed him something in their last constellation that affirmed his suspicion. What was that? And according to that something, he'll need some fancy clothes and whatnot to refine his look before we get to Refine his look? Why? But since we still have so far to escape the Great Lake, you're starting to feel restless. Is that right? Right on, so... Yeah, so there's not much you can do about that before we hit the solid ground, right? True. Unless, of course, you want to wear Gregor's dress. I mean, you just got a beautiful dress. You could attempt to wear it as well. Maybe. Come on, Heat. That's it? Don't you worry, I can definitely help you with that as soon as we find land, okay? We don't even know how far away from the land we are. True. Until we have reached the end of the scheduled work period for the sinners. Huh? Already? Oh, yeah. I hereby confirm the day's closure of business for the sinners. I reflectively set my usual routine piece as the light alarm clicked. Man, that wasn't even a big deal then. Let's go back to bed. I was hoping to see an act of dramatic bloodshed for once. Disappointing. Well, at least he wasn't trying to stir up trouble again, right? For once at least. The sinners each got up from their seat, yawning and stretching, and one by one disappearing into the back doors. So they were really worried that Heathcliff would pick up another fight with Virtuous? Is that the reason why they were so quiet and shocked? Come on! He must learn at some point! He was really careful the last time we mentioned Virtuous, right? Oi, Clockhead! I didn't know they knock your wits off along with your head! Sorry. But Gregor isn't completely wrong, is he? Can't you even mince words at this point? Virtuous and Sharon also walked into the back door, mocking grins on their faces. Come on, you two! And I was left alone in the ship's cabin, standing awkwardly near the severely crestfallen Heathcliff. With Don! Hey there! Wait, there was another. Sir Heathcliff! Huh? What are you doing out here, girl? Run along, you. Go gush about the high and mighty fixers of Teacup or something like that. I shall have plenty of time for that later. Yet thou shalt do well to treat me well, Sir Heathcliff. What, you little... Hold! Allow me to finish. Major Esquire, say Heatcliff. Come hither. Hush, hush. Huh? Dawn wore a confident smile. She slowly and gingerly walked over to the presently and temporarily vacant Sharon's seat, and whispered ever so silently to us. Forsooth, I have devised a splendid plan for thee. A plan? From Dawn? What could we possibly do in this situation? So, what is this splendid plan of yours? I don't think there were words in this world expressing enough to describe that look on Heatcliff's face right now. It was certain that he had a very scant expectation for Dawn and her plans, but there was a sliver of hope in his face that maybe, just maybe, Dawn might rise to the occasion for once at least. It was unclear whether Heatcliff's internal struggle mattered much to Dawn. However, she began excitedly describing her plan. This thou, Sir Heatcliff, ever heard tales of the ancient, legendary fixer of the World Association? The Red Sack? Wait, what? The Red what? Like, Virtueless? It is said that the legendary Red Sack carried out his deliveries no matter how terrible the terrains or how atrocious the journey to all corners of the city, and with him was his sidekick, the Reindeer Man. Are you talking about Santa right now? Don? Forsooth, his magnificent hat given away gracious gifts for children of the city that he deemed to be kind. This is but common knowledge, Heatcliff. He appears for the front cover of the Fixer Monthly every winter and all. Don asked, sounding genuinely shocked to learn that Heatcliff did not know of this Red Sack thing guy. What makes you think I've ever read rags like that? Fie to thee! Rags, thou say? Miniature Esquire! Surely thou hast heard of this magnificent publication, right? I don't have memories, Dawn. I don't think I have time to read newspapers around here. I knocked on my ticking clock head. I didn't really feel the need to spell it out for her. So none of thee have subscribed to it. Then my words fell on deaf ears, huh? Anyhow, what matters is thee, Sir Heatcliff, is it that thou'st endeavour to make thyself more presentable than anyone else for this occasion, is it not? Finally getting to the point, eh? Go on. Very good, sir. A costume most befitting for that occasion would be those of the Red Sack and his sidekick, Reindeer Man. Huh? This isn't going to end well, is it? What, like those ridiculous fixers del Ataraco Ativato or something? This is not ridiculous. Fie, thou hast not even the line to indulge my only wish that we could cosplay the fixers of Del Cato da Gitita together. Thou hast not even given it a chance, indeed. Speak not of a matter thou hast know nothing about. With all that talk about splendid plan, I thought you were actually going somewhere with this. But it all came around that fixer nonsense again, huh? I was really disappointed. I don't even have the energy to beat the sense into you. I'll get to it later. 5 honest hits to the naughty should do it. When the sliver of hope on Heatcliff's face began to rapidly fade. Petit, share thy thoughts to the fixer that we have laid our eyes upon thus far. What? Embarrassing? Were they? Remember, were they not fancy, impeccable dressed? Close not thy eyes and heart. Speak! Absolutely embarrassing thoughts. Yeah. The splendid bloke from K-Corp, remember? He looked like he leaped right out of a circus or something. Nay! Lord Secret was not embarrassing! I say his outfit was rather dashing. Wouldn't you agree? Allow me to explain thee the material of its fabric, so that thy understanding of it would improve? Guys, come on. Excuse me. Hi, Heatcliff! I'm yet unfinished! Why is this girl so hyped today? Well, Lord Siegfried is a special outlier. Perhaps, but dost thou not agree that most fixers are all rather well dressed and wore honors about their sleeves? Honor upon their what? I don't know about that, but I suppose they were quite boyish. Exactly. Follow the eye, and thou shalt see thyself dressed as impeccable and impressive as the fixer they are. Is that right? Sorted. I know shit's all about clothes and making myself look fancy and all. Right, so let's say I go along with your plan. Where are we going to get the clothes anyways? Honestly, everyone was right. Where are we going to go to pick up clothes in the middle of the lake? Yet I have thought of that as well. Recall the events of yesterday? The sirens that echoed across the bus. Dost thou remember? Now that I think about it, there was a siren yesterday. It went off not long before I announced the closure of business for the day. But Faust said that the backdoor velocity wasn't anything for us to worry about. Yet I was curious, how indeed does Faust determine which velocity is useful and which is not? Thus, as we all crowded back to the back door, preoccupied with returning to their respective quarters, I have secretly and stealthily availed myself of the chance to take a glance at the screen. So you took a peep? You know how to read those complex symbols or something? Nay, I myself have little hope of recognizing them, yet when I looked into them, I could very easily tell what the particular symbol of that device indicates. You do? Forsooth, there was the symbol of the red sack and the reindeer man, and next to them was a symbol indicating posh outfits. There was? No, it can't be that simple. Yeah, no, it can't be that simple. I agree with Heathcliff, however, Dawn remained enthusiastically as ever, as though she was already expecting him to say that. Dost thou know? Every so often, certain symbols appear on the numerous doors past the back doors. They do? Everyone spies, every passing glance, and made sure to watch them very carefully. And that was yesterday, when in the corridor I spied myself the exact door with the exact symbol that I witnessed on the screen. You went to the back? Wait, you didn't. This is my nature as an adventurer, Manager Esquire. My inability to quench the burning adventurous spirit. I prostrate before thee. Know that I have taken the sneakiest of peeks. Marry, that was nothing to foolhardy. I have only taken a small peek. And if I told thee that what I witnessed from within, that was all my deduction and prediction have been proven true, could thee find it within thyself compassion to spare my soul? That you broke a rule? You absolute muppet. Why the bloody hell do you keep doing what everyone tells you not to do? Right, Heathcliff, I just don't understand why some people keep doing things that everyone tells them not to do. I remember when Heathcliff ignored all the warnings and went into the restricted area past the area of the corridor that we were allowed to use. We almost thought Heathcliff that day as well. It was a tad different this time, however. Back then, Heathcliff had no idea what was beyond that door. And this time, we do. Are you suggesting that we call everyone over to explore that place? Nay, the three of us will be more than sufficient to handle this task. All tales begin with a party of three, indeed. Wait, what? You're just scared of the constellation, aren't you? The Virtuous, the one-in-one talk. I have nary a clue of what two may refer to! The answer to this predicament was right there. Tell them that it's too dangerous and shove them right back to their respective room to rest up for tomorrow. Miniature Squire, that zone! Indeed, it appeared to be the place most peaceful to my eyes. This is a simple task, is it not? All that we seek to do is to enter there and avail ourselves for a few seats of clothes for Heathcliff, right? True. It was obvious that Dawn wasn't helping Heathcliff out of pure kindness of her heart. She's just very curious. Maybe she's hungry for an adventure. Maybe she thought she might be able to do that cosplay of the fixer that she so admired. But if we can find Heathcliff some nice clothes to put his heart at ease, then I guess it's worth a shot. Ishmael? Maybe I can do something about this before things get out of control like it did last time when I just let the sinner's anxiety stew and exacerbate. Yeah. Fine, but we're turning around at the first sign of danger. You got that, you two? Wait, seriously? Come on, you were willing to do it if it means that you could pick up some clothes, right? Well, I suppose we'll be okay as long as Locket is with us. We have a healer, right? Hehe, well said. Then let us reconvene tonight before Manchester Squire's quarter. We shall knock in the following rhythm. Knock, 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 knock. Then you shall whisper a secret code, to which then I shall... Just go get some sleep. I'm gonna wake you up. I really hope this wouldn't be a waste of time. We agreed on a precise time before returning to our respective rooms.